Hi guys, this is section 12.6, which is solving rational equations. There's three things you need to do. Put them over a common denominator, put each term over a common denominator. Then you can drop off the denominator and just solve the numerator. But you also got to check for extraneous solutions, so the denominator cannot equal to 0. So in this case, x cannot equal to 0. So if in your answer you come out x equals 0, you would cross that out because it's an extraneous solution. Okay, so what we need to do is find an LCD. So if I look over here, my least common denominator is going to be between 2x, 10, and 5x. I can see it's going to be 10x. Okay, which means I need to multiply this 2x by 5. I need to multiply this 10 by x over x. And I need to multiply 5x by 2. And now if you just look at the denominator, I get 5 times 2x is 10x, 10x, and 10x. Okay, so now I just need to multiply my fractions. So this becomes 5 over 10x plus 3x over 10x is equal to 2 over 10x. And the reason you can drop off the denominator is I could multiply both sides by 10x. And when I distribute it in, it cancels out the denominator. Okay, so I'm just going to show on this one, but from now on, I'm not going to show it. So you can just drop off the denominator, solve the numerator, so you get 5 plus 3x is equal to 2, minus 5 from both sides, and you get 3x is equal to negative 3, divide by 3, and x equals to negative 1. Okay, and you can tell x could not equal to 0, so negative 1 is a good answer, is a legit answer. So there's your answer. That's how you solve it. Okay, so when I go to this one, by the way, I'm just going to do 4 example problems and I'll do one hard problem from the homework to help you guys through. So I can see my LCD here is going to be x squared, because I have an x squared, an x, and just a 1. Okay, so now I don't even need to multiply this one. This one, because I have an x, I need to multiply by x over x. And the negative 1, I need to multiply by x squared over x squared. And now I have an LCD of x squared. So I can leave my 5 here over x squared is equal to 6x over x squared minus x squared over x squared. And I can drop it off, and I would get 5 is equal to 6x minus x squared. Okay, now what I want to do is, because this is a negative x squared, instead of minusing 5 this way, I'm going to move it this way so that I get a positive x squared. So I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides, and I'm also going to add x squared to both sides. Okay, just do it in one step. I'm saving some time here. So I would get x squared minus 6x plus 5 is equal to 0, because I'm canceling these out. And now I can factor. Solve by factoring. X minus 1 times x minus 5 is equal to 0. Do my zero product property. So x minus 1 is equal to 0. X minus 5 is equal to 0. I'm going to plus 1, x is equal to 1, plus 5, and x is equal to 5. Okay, if I look for my extraneous solutions, or my what x cannot equal to, x cannot equal to 0 or 0 here. So both answers are legitimate. So x is equal to 1 or 5. Okay, so I get 2 answers for that one. Okay, if you notice this one here, this problem, now it's just a proportion. A ratio equals to a ratio. In this one I had 3 terms. 1 is equal to different ones. So I could find common denominators, or I could just cross multiply because it's a ratio. So if I cross multiply here, I'd get x times 1, which is x. And here's the part here. Make sure you put parentheses so that you distribute. So when I cross multiply this way and this way, I get this. Distribute. So x is equal to 2x plus 8. Subtract 2x from both sides to get rid of this. And I'll get negative x is equal to 8. Divide by negative 1. And x is equal to negative 8. Okay, and you can see in my restrictions here, x cannot equal to 0. I'll write it up here. So x cannot equal to 0 or -4, because -4 would make that denominator 0. Okay, so but -8 is legal, so my answer is x is equal to -8. Okay, 2 more problems. Here's another one. So I can cross multiply again. If I cross multiply this way, I'll get -2 times x squared minus 4. And when I do this one, I got to make sure I use parentheses, by the way, if you notice. So I'll get x minus 2 times x minus 4. Okay. Distribute. -2x squared plus 8 is equal to x squared. And I'm just going to shortcut this, minus 6x plus 8. Now I want to put it into a trinomial. Instead of subtracting it this way and getting -3x squared, I want the x squared to be positive, so I'm going to move these two this way. So I'm going to plus 2x squared here, plus 2x squared here, just so you can see. And I'm also going to minus 8 here and minus 8 here. That way this becomes 0 is equal to 3x squared minus 6x, and this actually zeroes out. And I'm just going to flip it around, minus 6x. Just so it's a little easier to see. Okay, all I did was switch sides. Now I can factor out a 3x. So actually, if you think of it this way, I don't know if you remember this one. Factor out a 3x from both, so then I get 3x here. Pulling a 3x out, I'm left with x minus 2. And now I do zero product property. So this 3x is equal to 0, and the x minus 2 is equal to 0. Divide by 3, x is equal to 0. If I add 2 here, plus 2, x is equal to 2. Okay? But if you remember, I got to go back to the original problem and see what x cannot equal to, any restrictions. So x cannot equal to 2 here, because that would make that 0. And then if I think about this one, if I set x squared minus 4 equal to 0, I set the denominator equal to 0, but I did it over here. If I plus 4 to both sides, x squared is equal to 4. When I take the square root, x is equal to plus or minus 2. And actually, it cannot equal to 0. Cannot equal to that. So cannot. So the restriction is x cannot equal to 2 or -2, because it would make the denominator 0, which means this one here is an extraneous solution. So my only answer is 0. Okay? So you can just set the denominator equal to 0 and solve it, and that would be your restrictions. Because if I did x minus 2 equals 0, when I plus 2x would equal to 2. And then you can see what I did over here. That's why it can't equal to positive or negative. Okay? Feeling a little crazy, so I'm going to do number 30 with you guys. So this is number 30 from the book. It is going to be a little lengthy, but I think hopefully this will help you when you do it. First thing I want to do is factor out what I can. So I'm going to factor out a 2, s minus 2 here. So that denominator, I can find the least common denominator. Okay. Over here, I'm going to factor this one down. It's a 3s and a s and a minus 2 and a plus 2. And that is good. Okay, so now I can see I have a 3s plus 2 here, a 2, a s minus 2, a 3s plus 2, and a s minus 2. Okay, so my LCD, oh, this is going to be ugly, is equal to, I got to put the 2 first. Well, I don't have to, but I just get the number out first. So I have a 2, I have a 3s plus 2 here, I have a s minus 2 here. So I have a 2, that's 3s plus 2, s minus 2. And here's my s plus 2 and my s minus 2. So my LCD is going to be 2 times 3s plus 2 times s minus 2. Okay. If I already have the 3s plus 2 here, that means I need to multiply this one by the 2 and the s minus 2. Does it make sense? I hope. because I already have this one here, so I got to multiply it by here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a shortcut and do 2 times s minus 2, if I think of it this way. And I'm going to distribute and put 2s minus 4. Okay. In this middle one, I already have the 2 and s minus 2 here, so I need to multiply it by whatever I don't have, which is the 3s plus 2. 3s plus 2 and 3s plus 2. And there's my fraction line. Okay. And then this one already has the 3s plus 2 and s minus 2, which means I'm only missing the 2. So I need to multiply this one by a 2. Okay, so now if you look at my common denominator, I have the 2s minus 4, which is the same as the 2s minus 2, and the 3s plus 2. So I have all three of them there. Over here, I already had the s minus 2 and the 2. So now I have all three of them there. And I already had these two, so I only need to multiply by 2. So now I need to multiply my numerators. I need to distribute, I'm sorry. So over here I would get 10s minus 20. Over here I need to FOIL. So I'm going to get plus 3s squared plus 2s minus 11s plus 6 is equal to and negative 4s over here. Okay, so on this one I FOILed, I did the FOIL, and I just combined the O and the I in my head. Okay, now I need to combine my like terms. So here's my 3s squared. I have a 10s plus 11s, so plus 21s. And then I have a minus 20 and a plus 6, so minus 14 is equal to negative 4s. I'm going to plus 4s to both sides to get rid of it. So 3s squared plus 25s minus 14 is equal to 0. Let's see, what do I need to do? Plus 2s plus 11s. Uh-oh, I see what I did wrong. This is a s, not a 5. Sorry. So this is wrong here. I apologize. This is a s, not a 5. So when I do this, I get 2s squared minus 4s. Okay. So now when I combine my like terms, I have these two, which is 5s squared. I have this 2, which is plus 7s plus 6 equals negative 4s. Now I'm going to plus 4s to both sides. 5s squared plus 11s plus 6 equals 0. 5s. I'm going to get plus 6 and minus 1, or plus 1, sorry. So all I did was factor this down. And now I do my zero product property. Minus 6. 5s is equal to 6 divided by, negative 6 divided by 5. And s is equal to negative 6 over 5. Minus 1. S is equal to negative 1. And my restrictions would be negative 2/3. S cannot equal to 2 because that would make that one 0. And over here you can see S would equal to 2 or negative 2/3. So these are both legitimate answers. So neither one is extraneous. So you can see this was quite an ugly one. I apologize, that is a S, not a 5, and my writing is terrible. But I hope this helps. That is section 12.6. Congratulations. This is the last section of the book. You did it. You're awesome, and God loves you.